On this episode, we'll talk to three people about a special facility being created in the North Oakland area for children with physical and cognitive disabilities, the Miracle League.
As a parent of a son with Down syndrome, my son turned 7 in May of 2017 and qualified for basically the Buddy Sports program, a program that we have here in Clarkston, and it's through our Park and Recreation Department. Buddy Sports helps individuals with disabilities from physical as well as cognitive. And the Buddy Sports program is a great opportunity for these children to be paired up with middle schoolers, high school kids, sometimes even adults, to start getting the understanding of sports, teamwork, things of that nature. And basically what had happened is my son got to first experience buddy basketball, which happened up at Everest Academy. Essentially, he became friends with a handful of different people, but one of the individuals he became closer with was a young lady named Allison Thurman. And Allison is oftentimes in a walker or a wheelchair, and they became buddies. And they continued to do buddy basketball throughout the winter of 2017. And then the next sport comes along, and that essentially was buddy soccer. And unfortunately, we did not get to see Allison at buddy soccer. And then buddy baseball started to begin, and my son Johnny was curious as to whether or not he would get to see Allison at that. Well, lo and behold, one evening at Oakhurst Golf and Country Club, where we're a member, I ran into Allison's parents, as well as Allison, Mike and Erica Thurman. And what I found out that evening was heart-wrenching at times, but basically the reason we hadn't seen Allison at some of these other sporting events through the Buddy program was that it's very difficult and challenging to push a walker on grass, dirt, just some of the natural environment that these sports are put into each and every day.
When I became the director of Independence Township Parks, Recreation, and Seniors back in May of 2016, I was very excited to find out that we had a very active therapeutic recreation program within our Parks and Recreation Department. So early on, our therapeutic recreation specialist had asked me to attend one of our buddy baseball programs and buddy softball. So I was very excited to do that and went out, met the families and wonderful, wonderful families that we have involved with our buddy baseball and softball programs here in Independence. But I was also taken aback a lot by the quality of our facilities and watching these participants of this program fulfill a dream to be able to play baseball, but to watch them play on a field that was consistently kind of a beach sand, loose material, and watching these participants trying to make their way around this facility was one of the most disheartening things that I had seen in a long time.
Easter Seals is almost 100 years old, and we originally started as the Society for Crippled Children, and originally started as an advocacy organization for children that had physical disabilities because they were just kept away and kept out of sight. And over the years, those kids grew up and they had children, and the world changed, and so the Easter Seals changed too. So in every generation, we've taken on different tasks to help people with disabilities. And one of the programs that we feel is really true to our mission and is just a joy for everybody that's involved with it is the Miracle League. And the Miracle League is a fully adaptive baseball field that accommodates any type of equipment.
So I started working with RTR specialists to research what it would take to build a Miracle League field here in Independence Township. And through that process, we had a lot of the families get involved and were very excited to help us submit our application. And through the process, we were approved to begin constructing a Miracle League baseball field right here in Independence Township.
kids play on a team in an organized league, and it gives the family an experience of inclusion and being out and getting exercise and being in the daylight and interacting with the general public. Kids play with buddies, and we have over 1,400 volunteers every year that buddy with the children, help them run the bases, help them hit the bat, help them catch, and so forth. And the only rule is that there's no rules. Everybody hits, everybody runs, everybody scores, and everybody wins in the Miracle League.
Erica Thurman began to tell me about the Miracle League, and it's an organization that specifically designs and builds from scratch these ballparks. And while it's designed for baseball, it can be tied into many different sports, and it can be brought to veterans, seniors, just a whole different realm of our community, and bring together kids. And there was one that was built in Southfield, Michigan, as well as approximately about 200 throughout the United States.
Here's footage from the Miracle League of Michigan field in Southfield.
Every game is a special event. Every game is Game 7 of the World Series. They have announcers and music, and I think most importantly is the participants are fulfilling a dream of playing baseball and being on a top quality facility. But I think most importantly is the stewardship piece, the connection between the participants, the families, and the volunteers. The Easter Seals have gone through great lengths to set up a volunteer program where corporations come in, other youth baseball and softball teams come in and volunteer their time to be buddies of these players. And what they learn about these families and about the participants and their disabilities, the connection that they make to these players goes well beyond the participants' joy of being able to play.
To fund this type of ballpark, it costs about $500,000 to really get the thing up and running, built, designed, and that's not even to its fullest capacity, but obviously a very large monetary figure.
When you start looking at the Miracle League field itself, it's not just about the playing surface, it's about the amenities that you add to that playing surface. Is there room for ADA accessible playgrounds? Is there room for restroom facilities and concession stands? And is there ample parking? So you take all of these different variables into account, and we were really struggling to trying to find the proper park facility to put this amenity in. It was a struggle for us. But through that process, we had learned that Orion Township, our neighbors, were also in the process of building a kind of a Miracle League field of their own. So we reached out to them, and between Orion Township and Independence Township and the Easter Seals, we had all kind of come together to manage and pool our resources for the betterment of our communities from a regional perspective.
One of the reasons that we chose Friendship Park is that there is already an adaptive play field in existence that was built by the Daisy Project. And we also love the fact that it's a very inclusive environment because all the other baseball diamonds are right there too. It's going to be right adjacent to them, and everybody is all going to play together at the same time.
The funding of that project was going to basically need to come from businesses, organizations, or more importantly, our community. So I again followed up with the Thurmans, and we decided that, you know what, this was a task that we could in fact take on and raise the $500,000. So we immediately came up with a golf tournament, which was very successful, and started reaching out for grants and to just people throughout our community. And as this story began to grow through all the different organizations and the wonderful people here at Clarkston Optimists, which provided us a very nice grant, but more importantly, help us spread the word throughout community. There, we would get random donations, be a part of fundraisers, reach out to Easter Seals on how they can donate, etc. We've had a very successful 16 months since my family and the Thurmans went on this endeavor. We've been able to get to the $500,000 mark. We've located our space in Friendship Park.
The plans are now in place, the sign is up, the surveys have been done.
We've started excavating, and we look to have our very first ball game June 1st of 2019.
That's all for this episode, but we've got more to share with you next time on Make Your Optimism Come True, made possible by the Clarkston Area Optimist Club.